Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm going here bringing you another video. In this one, we have a highly requested video. It is a hitting tips video. I've been asked a couple times in my Twitch chat and just a couple YouTube comments and stuff when I'm going to be making hitting tips, and here it is. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to set this video up, but we are in practice mode right now. I will show you my settings that I use for hitting and stuff like that, so... I'm using the Angels. I just wanted to show off more Mike Trout just because I'm used to him. I'm used to him on my Diamond Dynasty team, and we are facing the NL All-Stars, I believe. So we will be facing Matt Scherzer for this demonstration. So as far as settings go, if you guys feel comfortable using these settings, we already use these settings, but here they are. So gameplay. So it is on Legend, offline difficulty. I do use zone hitting. I feel like you really have to use zone hitting. I use buttons, so X for normal swing, square for power swing, triangle for bunt, circle for contact swing. I do use reticle or wedge. It really just, it honestly depends how I feel on that day. But I do use reticle more than wedge, I say. And then the camera I use is strike zone. I know some people like strike zone 2 or strike zone 3 or strike zone high or whatnot, but I like good old regular strike zone. I've been using it for the past 4 or 5 years, so I'm just used to it. And then the in-play offensive view is dynamic. Not that that really makes much of a difference, but... Oh, what did I just do there? Okay. So in this, all I'm really going to do is I'm going to show you where I start my PCI and really kind of what I look for. And as far as... It's going to be kind of a quicker video, not really so much in-depth as other hitting tip videos that you may see, but really the approach that I have when hitting, just some tips and really just like how I play the game and kind of go into my mind. Um, so I usually like to start my PCI a little more high and in. I know some people also like having theirs middle in, or I know a lot of people also start at low. I really can't stress enough, do not start at low, because most of the time you're gonna have to end up flicking it up. And then I feel like most people that start the PCI down low, they're even under a lot of pitches, so I'm really a fan of starting it high and in. It's mostly just like where the pitcher's release point is more often than not. But so you see Scherzer's kind of high and in the strike zone where his release point is. So I do like to start it there, and then it's reaction really. That's all it is. So start it high and in, throw a middle in and fastball, get a hit down the line. So really the whole point of this is to show you how to turn on a fastball, but also not be incredibly out in front of the off-speed stuff. So we're going to do the same thing here with Justin Upton, another righty. So right there, we had to wait back on that. It's just like, that's really the whole thing with hitting. It's to kind of, like, see how it's good on that. It really, and I can't stress this enough, it's time. I can show you where I start my PCI and try and give you these tips and, you know, tips from other top players, but really all it is, and I can't stress this enough, is time and reps that you need to put in. So get used to the settings that you're using, or the settings that you're comfortable with and that you're doing good with, and really just put the time in, whether it's ranked seasons or even just practice mode. Challenge of the week is a really good one to get warmed up with and really practice your hitting in. We had a home run there with Justin Bohr. So you see there, that was a changeup in the middle, but we had to wait back on it. You're going to have to do that with some pitches, whether if it's changeup in the middle or a slider or whatnot. But then really pick up, and this is something, I can't do it now because I'm in practice mode, but one thing that you can do, when you pause the game and you go to stats, I believe, and go to pitcher analysis, you can see what kind of pitches your opponent's throwing, and really take 30 seconds to a minute through your game if you're struggling and look at what your opponent is throwing, get used to it, find out their tendencies, and take this. I can't stress enough. Take pitches. Take pitches. I never usually swing at the first strike, and never, ever rule one of baseball for me is to ever swing at a first pitch strike with runners on, because 9 times out of 10, you will either pop it up, or it will be a ground ball, double play, or it doesn't usually end well. And I'm really big fan of getting to a 2-strike count. Make your starter, or make the opponent starter, throw pitches, really. So 0-1 count, and really just like, if you're in a type of count like this where you're kind of down the count, but it's not a 2-pitch, or not a 2-strike count, really just look for your pitch. And you see, I swing a lot if you watch my streams and stuff at stuff like that where I kind of need to get a check swing and stuff like that. So I bite a lot at like away changeups and sliders and stuff like that. But I'm pretty constant on turning on the fastballs, and I can do it fairly easily now because I've been playing this game since 2015. So it's really just time and time and time as far as just turning on fastballs, but not looking kind of silly on the sliders and changeups and curveballs and stuff that these signature and high tier starters have. And once again, it's reps, man. It's reps. I can tell you all the settings I use and what I do before the pitch. I usually kind of like to jiggle my PCI around too a little bit just to kind of get it loose. So you see right there, even I am still like way out in front of changeups and stuff and just like different kind of pitches like that. But really, all you need to do, man, is time. And so once again, strike zone hitting, reticle or wedge, and just get in practice, get into seasons, and put the time in. That's what you have to do. It's like with anything. It's like with riding a bike. You have to put time in. And even some of the best players in the world, you know, there's really only a couple people that have really mastered the art of hitting in this game. I am not one of them. But I know that some people have asked for some hitting tips. But really, to turn on the fastball and not to look silly, once again, it's just time in. I know it's gonna sound stupid that I'm saying that so much, but that's what it is. You have to practice. You have to put time in to turn on the fastball. So that's just the basic of it. To first learn how to turn on a fastball, whether if it's an out or what. Good squared out, 109. That's gonna happen. Just learn how to turn on the fastball, and then as you gradually do it, look for more of the changeups and stuff. Pick up their tendencies if they're throwing changeups and sliders, or if they're doubling up on fastballs. And so you know, like changeup right there. So if I was playing somebody and they threw a slider after, okay, changeup slider. Maybe they'll throw a fastball now. It's been 3 or 4 pitches, so you can kind of not guess, but you can kind of just have a mindset before the pitch is thrown. So like 2-1 count. Most of the times, and this is just a random AI pitcher. This isn't someone, but for human pitchers, a lot of the time in either a 2-0 count or a 3-1 count, you are getting a strike. You are getting a fastball, a sinker, a two-seam, a cutter, something fast that they can hit their spot, and it doesn't necessarily need to be on the black, but it needs to be in there. So you can pick up that, and that's just from me playing so much. 2-0 count, you're more than likely going to get a fastball. As far as like 2 strike counts, look for something that you're comfortable with hitting. Foul off a pitch if you think it's not your pitch, but it's still a strike. That was a dot. Oh my life. I just got dotted. Okay. So, and like the big thing that I do is you have to get the pitch count up. So 1-0 count, I never swing in these spots. It could be a fastball in the middle. It was. I rarely ever swing in these spots. 1-0 count. Even 1-1 I'm not really a fan of. Unless it's like a pitch I'm hitting. 2-1 count. Don't know what you're going to get here. So you can see we're 3 pitches in. Really aim for at least bare minimum 15 pitches an inning. Whether it's the starter or the reliever or whoever. 15 pitches an inning is the bare minimum. And I know a couple of friends that have had trouble hitting Kershaw and Nolan Ryan and stuff like that. And the problem with those big time signature series pitchers is that they have like 100 and something odd stamina. So if you're only making them throw 8 to 12 pitches an inning, then they're gonna dice you up and their confidence is gonna get high and you're gonna be screwed. That's the bottom line of it. So like that last at bat with Trout, it was what, a 2-2 count. We hit a home run to opposite field, went with the slider. That's a perfect example. You made him throw what, 5 pitches in that, and you got rewarded. That's what you want to do. Even if that was a line out or a routine fly ball or whatever, you made him throw 5 pitches in the at bat. Make him get to 2 strikes in the count to get his pitch count up and get him out of the game, and then you can kind of start to dice him up with the bullpen. Not the pitcher dice you up, but dice him up at the plate. Figure out what he's throwing, take a look at the pitcher analysis, and really kind of study in what he's throwing. If he's throwing more low and away changes with 2 strike counts, then look for that more. You know what I mean? I know I'm not really trying to hit these balls right now. I'm just kind of trying to explain myself right now, but we're kind of taking that bat here. So fastball down the middle. I believe this is Cole Calhoun, so he's not really the best hitter in the world, but Cole Calhoun is a player that is really short. I'm not really a fan of using short players, and that's another thing. Use players that you're comfortable with. If you see that you're struggling with someone, then take them out. Try someone else. So like myself personally, I don't do very well with players that are short like this. So like 5'9" and under, I'm not really a fan of using because I feel like I have to start my PCI at the top of the zone to see their pitch release, as I said. So I started like at Scherzer's pitch release, and if I'm using Cole Calhoun right there, I'll show it again. I need to actually start it like completely above the zone, pretty much like right here, just to kind of, just something that I'm used to. So like right there, the pitch release, another base hit. So like your PCI will always be on the ball. I feel like I feel like my PCI placement's very, very good. Getting used to this. So it's kind of difficult. Scherzer's got a pretty basic pitch release, but so there's obviously some pitchers that have some very wonky pitch releases. If you're facing a Submariner or someone like Adam Ottavino, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And even just stuff like that, I do a lot where it's like something high in the zone. I just like I slightly drop my PCI, just like it's only very, very minimal too. The amount that happens, but it still does happen. So 1-1 count. You really want to look for something up here. Oh, change up in the middle. You say even I miss them. Everybody does. So I honestly feel like pitches down the middle are some of the hardest pitches in the game to hit. So that's a good take right there. Something low and away. You don't really want. I honestly taking a strikeout in a spot like this on a 1-2 count with a runner on, nobody out. Taking a strikeout on a slider away is honestly probably not the worst thing in the world, because you try and swing at that, you rolled over, double play, and then your inning's pretty well over. So that's like what I say to people, like on that slider, if that was a strike, then it's a strike. That's not that big of a deal, but who knows? Next pitch, they could hang a slider like they just did right there, and then it's a home run. And now I would really love to show you guys, as far as like online stuff, as far as like breaking down an opponent and doing it live, but the servers are actually down right now, so I can't actually do that. But hopefully this video helped you a little bit. I really can go more in depth when I'm streaming and I'm just like I'm constantly playing and I'm saying what I'm doing and saying what I'm expecting and stuff like that. If you guys haven't already, be sure to go drop my Twitch a follow. It is in the description down below. I know this wasn't like a couple other people's hitting tips videos. I didn't really know how to set this up. I really wanted to make one because I've had it requested a lot. So really all that I can tell you, man, is time. Use the settings that I use. Those are the settings that most of the top players use. Use those settings. Get in Challenge of the Week or Legend Practice or Seasons or whatever and put the time in. As like, so you see like when I do it, maybe you're different. Maybe you like to start your PCI low. But just for 1 game or 2 games or whatever you're comfortable with, do what I do. Start it at the pitcher's release, either if it's high and in or high and away or whatever. Just try it, okay? Get into practice, get into challenge league, start turning on fastball, start getting used to off speed low and away, start trying to get mitts, not try to hit mitts. I'm sorry, this video is so bad, I'm sorry, but I really wanted to get this out. And really work counts, man. That's like the biggest thing that I can do is work the counts. So I'm sorry, I feel like this is a horribly made video. I can help you out a lot more in depth on my stream, so be sure to go drop my Twitch a follow again. It's in the description, twitch.tv/McWiggin. Drop a like on this video if you're new, drop a sub if you are new as well. Leave down in the comments if you guys have tried these settings and tips out before. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.